Okay, so this is a compass, and I just grabbed this 1x2 and I broke it in half at my knee because we're redoing the wood shop. So it's pretty jagged, but you know, to make a perfect circle, just find anything that you can attach 2 points to and somehow get it attached to the center, and it's the easiest way to make a circle. There is no way in the world I can ever draw a circle like that. That's the great thing about working with wood. And I make a little tiny indentation in there, and now I'm gonna have a nice line to follow. You know, there's no, I just kind of do things the way that makes sense to me. I'm gonna have a lot of texture, so I'm not worried about these 2 holes I put there, because they are going to get covered in a crater wall, most likely. So, homemade compass. This is our new experimental base coat. It's got a little bit of clay in it and a lot of white pigment, and it's a little bit on the heavier side for a base coat, but I wanted to have this. It works as a finish coat and a base coat, but we call it base coat because it's got a still nice sheen to it, and it doesn't have like a lot of calcium carbonate like gesso does. But it's got great opacity and just a little bit of texture to it, so it shows the brush stroke. My brush was dirty there. My brush is apparently dirty. Apparently a lot of debris on it. Anyway, so what's good about this line that I made here with the compass is it's got a slight indentation, so it's really easy to follow now. And this is just my raw base for the moon, and I should be able to cut this in. And it's nice to be able to use a larger brush to cut in. It's kind of like when you're house painting, you get a nice cut in on that edge. I'm constantly going to be going back and forth between hovering over blue with the white by accident and then coming back over the blue to cover it up. So I'm just going to kind of roughly get on the base on here, and at some point I'll get the fine detail of that edge with a smaller brush if I need to. I kind of screwed this up. I made the moon too small and my blue got too dark. So I just made a new, bigger outline of the moon and just added more titanium white to my blue here so I get a nice light color. So one thing you gotta know about colors is they dry darker, and I didn't catch that one. But better to catch it now before I get too far into it. But no big deal, this stuff's got so much pigment in there, it just covers that up so fast. I do a lot of pieces with like big blocks of color, and I just use these brushes that we sell, these 2-inch brushes, which allows me to get my base coverage on there for my blocky colors. Make sure you get the sides. I paint on these 2.5-inch thick panels. We'll have trees in there that wrap around the edge and everything. It'll all come together. So you got just a little bit of carbon black and the titanium white there. Just kind of get some of the darker areas in the moon going. Again, this is all still rough draft form. I use my thumb a lot for cutting in lines, because it's handy and it's always there. Just need a little bit of nail there to cut it in. so don't bite your thumbnail all the way off. So I'm kind of like stippling this in. Just kind of reminds me, I've seen sheetrockers do this with the mud on the ceiling. I forgot what they call it, like mopping or something. I'm just using the tip of this brush, and what's good is it kind of makes little craters. Just going back and forth between the white and the black, which gives me my nice medium balance of gray. And then where I have these upper texture areas, works good for making the craters. Being really careful out here on the edge to not go past there. I'll end up cutting back some white in there after this dries so I can get that edge wherever I want the bright spot to glow in the moon. But I'm still kind of in that rough draft form, so I'm not really worried about the super bright highlights, which I get at the very end. So I'm putting more white in down here in the bottom because I want when this moon to feel like all that brightness is coming down and you're kind of looking up at it. So the bottom is definitely going to be the bright side here. So I'm putting all white in here right now. I've kind of lost my line on the bottom here, but I got a trick for that. So one thing I love about putting the water in there, it does a couple things. It kind of, you know, puts little tiny craters along the white paint, but it also gives it a very organic, drippy look. And I like that. It kind of homogenizes it all together. I'm not going to let it stay drippy like that. I'm gonna lay it flat so all those drips do not become linear, and then they kind of just spread out organically. So, and then I'm gonna blow the air on there. First, I'm going to get some bright white on there. Uh-oh. I think I'm out. I'm gonna go in with our bright titanium white, and so I can get those edges really brightened up. And still, this is not the final, but I want to be able to put some more water on there and let it blend in with the drippy gray and homogenize these dark and light areas. So this is all going to kind of dry really organically right now, and I'll come back in and clean it all up around the edges. so it didn't look like it was created by a human hand.
Thanks for watching, everybody. That was Justin Gaffrey painting a moonscape just as the sun goes down. You can find all of your sculpting paints and art materials at GaffreyArtMaterial.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.